Lord Vivek. Forgive me, Outlander, but I have enough to deal with. I'm just a simple tribunal priest, and the trouble at the ancestral tomb was too much for even our buoyant armiger to deal with. Lord Vivek sent the three of us to seek guidance at the Andrano ancestral tomb. We were attacked when we got there, and our guard was seriously hurt. I barely got her to safety, but we failed to complete the mission Lord Vivek bestowed upon us. Canon Levoul. He remained behind after we retreated from the tomb. I know he wants to get back inside and ask Lord Vivek's questions, but there's no way he can get past the Daedra, or ask the questions on his own. May the three grant him wisdom.
Tyson, what's wrong? Someone help!
Why, the three? First a wounded armiger, now this!
By dawn and dusk, evil creeps through the shadows of my beloved Vvardenfell. But an outlander arrives to aid my people, just as I have foreseen.
Those words, what do they mean?
What happened?
Merciful Azura, the Mother Soul spoke through you. It's a miracle!
Lord Vivek, protect me. That was Azura, the Queen of the Night Sky. And you, she spoke directly to you, Outlander. I'm surprised the Daedric Prince would risk Lord Vivek's wrath to proclaim a prophecy. But she did say you were here to aid us. The Daedric Prince Azura possessed that woman and spoke through her. I've heard of such occurrences, of course, but to witness such an event... She said evil creeps through the land. I wonder if it has anything to do with what we sought guidance in a matter that concerns Lord... Vile creatures from a... Lord Vivek, protect me! The Daedric Prince Azura possessed that woman and spoke through her. We sought guidance in a matter that concerns Lord Vivek. I received specific questions to ask while Levoul concentrated on summoning his ancestor. The Daedra ruined those plans when they fell upon Urnsey, and we were forced to flee. Ill creatures from oblivion. You hear about an odd ghost of vampires, but no Daedra. Please, if they're still there, rip Canon Levoul apart. He's definitely not a warrior. Just look at what they did to the buoyant armiger. The buoyant armigers comprise one of the military orders of the Tribunal Temple. They seek to emulate Lord Vivek's deeds through actions and words. Poor Urnsey. Those monsters went straight for her. Her blood flowed like lava from Red Mountain. Where are you from? Children learn.
Those monsters, it's too dangerous. What am I going to do?
Did Canon Valasar send you?
Oh, she did, didn't she?
That means she made it to Seyda-Neen. Vivek be praised. Will you help me complete my mission? It would be sacrilege if I don't enter my family's tomb and make Lord Vivek's inquiries. As the saints declare, the tribunal always provides. We'll need to be cautious, however. Daedra invaded the tomb. Makes it hard to talk to one's ancestors while monsters try to eat you. I'll also need your help when we reach the summoning chamber. Take this scroll with Lord Vivek's inquiries, while I summon forth my ancestor spirit and concentrate on maintaining the connection. You must ask the questions. He insists we use the exact phrasing. We can go inside when you're ready. We're really going to do this. I wish I knew how Daedra got into my family tomb, but I'm sure you can handle them. At least you know they're there. They ambushed poor Armiger Urnsey. Took her completely by surprise. Follow me. I'll open the door. Follow me, but keep an eye out for those Daedra. Careful. The creatures attacked as soon as we entered the Hall of Remembrance. This used to be such a peaceful place. Even as a young acolyte could meditate. We're nearly there. Then we can summon my ancestor. The summoning chamber. I'll call forth my ancestor, then you can ask Vivek's questions.
Hasn't my rest been disturbed enough by those filthy Daedra? Why do you summon me, descendant?
My Lord Vivek has inquiries that only you can answer, my lady. My companion will present them with your permission.
The warrior poet? Very well. Ask Vivek's questions. Ask the poet's questions, Outlander. Ah, Lord Vivek always away with words. Tell him to rest assured. The heart remains safe. I wonder why that concerns him. Ask him questions as my time here is short. An enemy of old, yes, but not the one that Vivek presumes. Sotha Seal imagined multiple scenarios and content illusion. Experiment with his divinity, drawing energy to study before returning it. Loss will come, he foresaw, but not until the collapse of the temple.
I hope that's what Lord Vivek needed. Let's talk outside. Thank you. Just between us, I understood neither the questions asked nor the answers received. Not that I expected you. Some things aren't meant for mortal minds. That's another reason for you to come to Vivek City, to help me explain what my ancestors said. Excellent. I just need to make a quick stop in Saint-Denis to check on my original traveling companions. When you get to Vivec City, head right to the palace and I'll meet you there. I know that Lord Vivec will want to reward you for assisting me. I'll be along shortly. When you get to Vivec City, head directly for Lord Vivec's palace. Once there, I'll make introductions and we can tell the warrior poet everything we've learned. Of course. As I said, the tribunal consists of our 3 living gods, Vivec, Almalexia, and Sothasil. They lead us in spiritual matters and rule over Dunmer society as god monarchs of the Dark Elves. I serve Vivec, but honor the entire tribunal. Unfortunately, no. The Dunmer houses bow to the tribunal, but the savage Ashlanders refuse to acknowledge their divinity. The heretics never allowed themselves to be assimilated into the great houses. Instead, they hold to primitive superstitions.
Praise Vivec! Praise Vivec!
This is the person who helped me at the tomb, my lord.
Lord Vivec, we don't need the help of this outlander.
Oh, hush, Archcanon Tarvis. Outlanders have their usefulness, and this one intrigues me.
As you say, I'll be in my office if you need me.
Step forward, friend of Lavul, and let us speak. Canon Level says you helped him in his mission. As I have written, the one who helps my ally becomes my friend. Despite the Archcanon's concerns, I greet you with sincerity and pose a simple question. Will you assist us further, Outlander? I have ordinators and armigers at my disposal. Vast armies of followers and dedicated priests. What I don't have, however, is a fresh perspective. Will you set aside your personal goals for a time and become the eyes and ears of a god? Good. I need assistance to investigate a strange phenomenon that the ants affirmed may indeed be a problem. We'll start with a simple divination ritual. Archcanon Tarvis can tell you what we need to delve into this mystery. The situation that troubles me has taken a toll on my Archcanon, but he's a faithful servant. Tarvis will do say, and I say we need your assistance. Archcanon in his, and he'll tell see. The difference. Suppose the same events that concern me might interest Azura, though she could just as easily be the source of these troubles. Red Mountain. Strange Daedra. We'll talk more about that when turn. Anne assured me that a source of power remains safe.
Ah, Outlander. Lord Vivek trusts too much to put his faith in one such as you, but who am I to question my god? I suppose he sent you to me so I could put you to work. Did he say which task he wants us to accomplish first? Ah, yes. We do need to perform a ritual to reveal the nature of the phenomenon that vexes Lord Vivek. Now listen closely. I hate to repeat myself. Despite my objections, Vivek believes you were sent to help, so I'll do my best to assist you. Go to the ziggurat that's still under construction and tell the Overseer that Lord Vivek requires the Blessing Stone. Then bring it to me in the palace. You'll receive a simple errand in the service of Lord Vivek, and countless questions form unbidden in your mind. Very well, go ahead. Ask your questions. It's not like I'm the busy archcanon of a living god or anything.
This project has been nothing but one disaster after another. How expected to get this built on time when... Our blessings. Do you know what happens if we... Our blessing stone? Well, neither do I. But I'm sure it won't put us back on schedule or end our string of disasters. I'm not one to disagree with the Archcanon, but that's a terrible idea. Lord Vivek? Well, why didn't you say so? But I'll need your help to turn over the blessings. The passage leads to the Consimba collapse, trap my workers. If you can clear the way, you can borrow the stone. Lord Vivek, I appreciate the help. Just remember that you're only borrowing the stone. It needs to be back in the consecration chamber before the next shift, or we'll never get this constructed in time.
Thank you. I'll go tell the Overseer what you did for me.
I can't move! Help me!
I thought I was gonna die under there. Oh, thanks for saving me.
Praise Vivek!
The Outlander returns. I understand there was trouble at the construction site, but you were able to save a few of the workers. Lord Vivek always draws the straightest arrow from the quiver. Praise the tribunal. Did you bring the blessing stone? Stand over there. In Canon Level's absence, you will form the third corner of our ritual triangle. When you're ready, place the blessing stone, and we'll begin the ritual. Hear the words of the warrior poet, and reveal the source of Lord Vivek's distress. An Ashlander? A clockwork mage? A Daedric cultist? Something interfered with the ritual, my lord. But we may have learned something. Excuse me while I compare the results to our previous research.
Between the cryptic warnings of the ancestor spirit and the unexpected result of the divination ritual, I fear there may be more astir than I imagined. We solved the greatest mysteries by accident, I suspect. I should write that down. We learn from every action we take. Failure or success, each result teaches us something, at least in the larger sense. To be more specific, no, not as much as I hoped. Images that suggest avenues to investigate, riddles to solve. Let me tell you a secret, Outlander. It concerns a living god, an energy that fades like daylight as dusk spreads across the land. Listen well, and speak not a word. My divine energy, it drains away. Whether illness or foul malady, know not. You must travel the land and seek answers on my behalf. But first, gratitude before service, as I have written. So thank you. The ritual confirmed my worst fears. Divine energy flows out of me for no reason that I can discern. I felt the power imbued within my blessing stone get wrenched away as soon as you added it to the ritual. I couldn't stop it. To quote my own words as the Vvardenfell poet, no lock exists that the determined thief cannot open. Follow the trail of my missing energy, and try to discover the identity of the enemy Levol's ancestor warned us about. Something drains my energy. Find Archcanon Tarvis in his office, and ask if he gleaned anything useful from it. Not. I know the research needed new avenues to investigate. Go where he tells you, and learn what you can. My divine energy diminishes with every passing moment.
I performed that ritual countless times, and it never exploded in my face before. If I discover that you sabotaged the divination... No. I shouldn't take my failure out on you. It's not your fault that things are difficult. How do you know about... Lord Vivek told you? Of course he did. It's his prerogative, I suppose. You must swear to keep this secret, though. There would be panic in the streets if the people believed one of the tribunal was incapacitated. I researched what I could using the resources available here in Vivek City. To learn more, I need an agent to personally assess each location. Lord Vivek thinks you're the best one for that job. I hope he's right.
I can't believe Lord Vivek wouldn't see worshippers today.
He's a living god.
These one needs to get out of here. Those cultists, they're insane.
All right, but keep your voice down. I'll be ready soon enough. In the meantime, if anyone asks, you're just here to haul cargo.
What? Who? One is just here to cargo. This thing. Perhaps you are of another Khajiit. Look, Renaku just wants to leave all these crazy dark elves behind and find a safer mine to work in. The Shulk ore mine is cursed. No one likes a Gwar liquor, you clawless kitten. It happened a few days back. weird cultists just barged in and took over the mine. This one managed to get away, but the crew chief and some of the others are still out there. Happy now, fish breath?
What is it?
You shouldn't be here. Didn't you read the House proclamation? I wouldn't be here myself, but some of my miners are still in there. Our mine was invaded and cultists. They showed up and just took the place over. My people are trapped. No expert, but it looked like it was a ritual before the Ashlander interrupted them. Probably because I heard one of them say a mystical weapon and attain the power of a god. Or something along those lines. Look, I was just trying to get me and my miners out of there when the Ashlander showed up. Well, I never actually saw an Ashlander, but I heard a cultist yell, "Ashlander thief! That's our mystical weapon!" That's not an exact quote, but you get the idea. I don't know what happened after that. I was kind of busy trying not to die. Probably because I heard one of them say, "You shouldn't." Our mine was in... It used to be an ore mine, and we hope it will be again. My crew was inside preparing to start up mining operations when the cultists attacked. The way things are going, we might just have to turn the place into another Kwama egg mine. Really? That's awfully brave of you. If you see any of my miners, tell them to get their arses out here. I'll wait as long as I can. Or until I hear screaming. Then I'll go to Balmora and try to find some help. Good luck in there.
The High Priestess will figure something out, just as she always does.
Heal me!
You don't look like one of those crazy cultists, and you certainly aren't one of our miners. So by Vivek's holy nose hairs, who in oblivion are you? Really? Then forget I said anything about His Holiness' nasal preening. Sort of Daedric cult. They've been performing rituals. Forth divine power, some such nonsense. At least they were, before the Ashlanders showed up. The savages barged into the deep chamber. Seemed to know about the hidden passage and everything. Stole the relic the cultists were praying over, and ran for the hills. As a matter of fact, that's where I'm going, as soon as it's safe to leave.
Did you find? Of course.
I demand to see my brother. Lay hands upon me, and you will lose them. You there! The territory of the Red Exiles shouldn't be traveled lightly. Once respected each other, helped one another. You'd think these were house wolves or tribunal dogs, the way they treated me. Speaking of the tribunal, you have the smell of dog about you. I wonder why that is. Lord Vivec, is it? And I thought all the tribunal cared about was building monuments to their own greatness. Nice to see that one of them cares about what's going on beyond their borders. Well, perhaps we can aid each other this day, Outlander. Ashlanders are nomads, but we gather at sacred sites to trade, confer, and pay homage to the past. Aldrin is such a place. That's why Chodala invited the Red Exiles here. But these outcasts won't let me into their camp. I need to find my brother. My brother, Chodala, is the Ashkan of our tribe, and I am his ambassador. I act as a go-between among the tribes. Chodala wants to unite the Dunmer and calmly end the era of the bickering houses. He hopes to convince the tribes to follow his lead. Head into the Red Exiles camp and find my brother. Otherwise, see if you can find out what he was doing in there and where he's gone. Be wary of the outcasts. As you saw, they won't hesitate to attack without reason or provocation. No, just our tribe, the Urshilaku, though he's respected by most of the other Ashlanders for his wisdom and strength of will. He does hope to unite the tribes in a common cause, however. That's one of the reasons we've gathered here at Aldrin. As you saw, hostility is second nature to the Red Exiles. We're here to negotiate, but they're no better than thieves and murderers. If they spot you in their camp, you'll need to defend yourself. It's unfortunate, but they'll leave you no choice. You seem to have survived your visit to the Red Exiles camp. Did you find my brother? Interesting. I never suspected that the outcasts were disciplined enough to keep records such as this. Oh no. I can't believe my brother would be so... brazen. It means that Chodola really has changed. With his newfound powers and rising ambitions, I fear what he plans for the tribes. I suppose you have a right to know what I'm talking about. Take this. I found it among my brother's possessions. Chodola discovered new power out in the wilderness, and it changed his view of the world. He writes about it in that document. Now he believes he's a Nerevarine, and incites the tribe. You don't know? I thought... No, you're not an Ashlander, and the House Elves rarely talk about such things. Long ago, there was a hero named Nerevar. He fought alongside the Tribunal, before they claimed to be gods, until they betrayed him. So our legends say. Nerevar united the Kaima, and forged an alliance with the Dwemer. He died at the Battle of Red Mountain. We believe the Tribunal hastened his demise, despite Vivek's claims to the contrary. The Nerevarine is a promise and a prophecy. We believe that, through the power of Azura, Nerevar will return to unite all Dunmer, House and Ashlander alike, and make Morrowind great again. The returned Nerevar will be known as the Nerevarine. While the prophecy of the Nerevarine can be interpreted as the end of the Tribunal, I have always seen it as a prediction of hope and peace. Chodola and some Ashlanders, such as the Red Exiles, favor war. That's not the Nerevarine I believe in. He uses an Ashkon's words to plant dark ideas in his followers. Ideas that speak of false gods, lost traditions, and the need for a cleansing war. His words become more forceful every day, but I hope to dissuade him from this violent course.
Help! Someone, please help!
Not you too. This is ridiculous.
I'm sorry.
citizen.
Divine energy. Oh, such displeasure and disappointment. Nothing works, even though every calculation is precise. Now an interruption. How infuriating. Wait. Sometimes the great gear turns from frustration to opportunity. Divine energy. I'll have you know I participated in Lord Sotherseal's 9 analyses of the Exalted Enigmas. But we have more important matters. I'm about to determine the correlation between color and time, and I could use another set of hands. A reciprocal exchange. Interesting, yes. I can see the benefits of such an arrangement. Very well. Just activate the crystals in the proper sequence while I modulate the energy flow. Less chance of an explosion that way. You activate the crystals. Look for pure light, not muddled. I'll modulate the energy fluctuations, make sure nothing explodes. If color confounds you, look at the shape. Fewest sides to most. But the great gear turns, so be quick, be quick. Good help is as rare as the legendary Last Dwemer, but a clockwork is only as strong as its weakest cog. Just work your way up the rainbow. If the color isn't clear, examine the crystals. Start with the simplest shape and end with the most complex. Start. Keep going. Activated, but not in the proper sequence. Try again. Smoke instead of light. Not the reaction I was hoping for. You activate the crystal. Keep going. Keep going. No. Reset the mechanism and try again. Good start. Keep going. Smoke instead of light. Not the reaction I was hoping for. far, so good. Activated, but not in the proper sequence. Try again. Good start. Keep going. Correct. So far, so good. Very close. One more to go. Yes, I love it when the gears align. Perfect. Such are the benefits of an extra set of appendages. The energy flows freely and without disruption, allowing the rods and the pistons to align in a most pleasing manner. Thank you. Now, why do you want to know about divine energy? Scent. How intriguing. I was just thinking about my former master, Sir Seal, and the experiments we conducted. He desperately sought to understand the power he and his companions attained, especially whether or not that power was temporary. Not while I assisted him. He had a tool that he used to drain away minute bits of his own divine energy to store and study. He could extract it and return it as he saw fit. Not sure what became of the tool, but here are my notes from those days. More questions? Well, Lord Sir Seal attributed curiosity to intellectual superiority. Suppose I should do the same. Ask, and I will attempt to tighten the cogs of your ongoing education as best I can. Odd question. Is a hammer a weapon? A saw? A Dwemer spring spanner? No, it was just a tool. A device crafted by Sir Seal to aid in his endless experiments. Suppose I could imagine ways to device, but for what reason? Haven't a clue. Tools have a way of wandering off when you don't stay vigilant. Had a guar that used to swallow tools when I wasn't looking. Glowed for a month until the enchantment dissipated and the tool passed. Should have heard the screams. I was his apprentice, but that was years ago. Spent time working in the Clockwork City. That's what I learned about energy transference, Dwemer engineering, mechanical symmetry. Made me the dark elf I am today. The Archcanon, Lord Vivec's High Priest. Suddenly the gears align. I can think of a number of reasons that Alm and V would want to know about C and his tools. Doors just be opened. He's the father of mysteries and the architect of time, one of the Tribunal, the three living gods of the Dark Elves. Creates all sorts of helpful and intriguing devices, like the Clockwork City. It's a wonder and a miracle. All brass tunnels, glass domes, and giant gears. He was inspired by the work of the Dwemer. The Clockwork City, pure Sir Seal. He made it the future and reshaped the world. I learned a lot there.
At last. Did you see what's happening outside? Red Mountain rumbles louder and more frequently. The sky grows dark, and worst of all, the people are beginning to notice. Soon I'll have to muster the Ordinators to keep them from the palace doors. In part, Lord Vivec is not well. I won't allow his followers to see him in this state. He continues to lose energy, and it's becoming difficult for him to maintain the realm in his usual fashion. Now, What did your investigations uncover? I'll review these documents and present your findings to Lord Vivek. I was against bringing you into this investigation, but I was wrong. Thank you for aiding us. You should go see him. Very well. Tell me what you learned at each of the locations, and let's see what conclusions we can come to. Barrelzar faithfully served Sothasil. He's as loyal to the Tribunal as I am. He would never intentionally harm Lord Vivek. But that tool he mentioned... Perhaps one of the priests Vivek sent away could search the temple archives for more information. Lord Vivek doesn't want his followers to see him in such a weakened state. Only you, Canon Levuel, and myself are permitted into his palace now. Speaking of the palace, Lord Vivek wants to see you when we're done here. So your notes say, and this Saren assisted you. Interesting. Most Ashlanders want nothing to do with the Tribunal. Even so, they rarely become aggressive. I'd say this Chodala bears watching. If we can spare it, I'll send an armiger to Aldrin. Interesting theory. Perhaps Chodala's staff can steal Vivek's energy. I have a hard time imagining how an Ashlander could accomplish such a feat. Lord Vivek said the draining has grown more intense since you left. It doesn't look well. From what you discovered, I dare say there may be a correlation between the narcotic relic and the tool Barrelzar mentioned. And it seems the Ashlander thieves are connected to Chodala. Your evidence points to a clear conclusion. So it appears. Lord Vivek's doing his best not to complain, but I can see how much the draining of his energy has cost him. Just seeing you again should improve his mood considerably. And the progress you made with your investigations, outstanding.
Lord Vivek needs to do something. Look at that sky!
Lord Vivek isn't receiving visitors today. My lord, please let me send for aid. Perhaps one of the healers can help you.
Pain is best tolerated in private. As I have written in the 37th ballad.
There must be something I can do.
You can call the Archcanon. He should hear the news our friend brings us. Drains thee as my divinity flows out of me. Needs some work. As you can see, I continue to lose energy, and it has made me somewhat agitated. Have you made any progress toward discovering the source of my discomfort? An Ashlander? That seems unlikely, but I trust your instincts. We need to find out more about this Chodala and the ancient enemy that aids him. Take this, another token of my appreciation. And look, here comes the Archcanon now.
My lord, the Outlander may have actually discovered something. After furnishing of the dot back, I agree with the assessment. The Ashlander Chodala has somehow siphoned divine energy away from Lord Vivek. Not exactly. But now that we know that the affliction isn't natural, we can work toward a solution. One that probably involves Chodala's staff. How the Ashlander got his hands on Sothasil's tool and turned it into a weapon is beyond me, though. Eventually, but we need to be cautious. If Chodala is as respected as you say, attacking him would start a war we can't afford to partake in. Go to Aldrin and talk to his sister, Saren. I don't trust her either, but she worked with you before. Get to Aldrin and locate Saren. She needs to tell us more about Chodala and then help us acquire his staff. Without it, we can't restore Vivek. Meanwhile, I need to placate the populace. The people grow concerned over Vivek's continuing isolation. Didn't we cover this? Let me refresh.
Ah, a fellow outsider in this inhospitable Sea of Ash. I wonder if we might help each other.
Outlander, quickly! This... I've been thinking about my brother's claim that he's the Nerevarine since we last spoke. No matter how I try, the word tastes false on my tongue. And now I fear he's about to convince the wise woman that his quest for power will benefit the tribes. My brother is respected and revered. He has allies in all of the tribes, not to mention his personal Red Exiles. We have to proceed with caution. Respect the Ashlander customs and traditions. Anything else will lead to violence and bloodshed. We talked to my brother. Tried to convince him this isn't the way. Barring that, we make sure the wise woman doesn't get drawn into his madness. Whatever Chodola says or does, don't attack him. We don't need a war between the houses and the Ashlanders. Woman, I was hoping she'd be here.
You're too late, dear sister. Despite your protestations, the wise woman has gone to the Cave of the Incarnate to confirm my claim.
Brother, do you really want to pursue this dangerous course?
There was a time when you gave me your unconditional support, Seren. I miss those days.
My brother Chodola's about to do something foolish and dangerous. But by dusk and dawn, Azura put you and I on the same path for a purpose. I just hope we have enough time. He's about to claim the title of the Nerevarine and try to unite the Ashlander tribes gathered here. He already convinced the Red Exiles to support him. He's using them to intimidate the other tribes. If he persuaded the Wise Woman to his cause... Wise Woman Dovrasi, the most respected counselor and spirit guide this side of Red Mountain. She went to the Cavern of the Incarnate to meditate on Chodola's claim. If she confirms my brother's assertion, the tribes will follow wherever he leads. Agreed, but I dare not leave Chodola alone with the tribes. I feel the hand of Azura in all this. Go to the Cavern of the Incarnate and talk to the Wise Woman. I'll stay here and try to keep things under control until you return. The cavern's to the northeast of Aldrin, on the other side of the mountain. Hopefully, the rumbling and lava won't slow you down too much. Get to the cavern and talk to the Wise Woman. If she accepts Chodola's claim about the Nerevarine...
She won't refuse my claim. Just in case, make sure the Red Exiles are ready.
Your word is law, Nerevarine.
Yeah!
House Redoran?
Telvanni, the greatest of the great houses.
Azura is my shield, you foul creatures. Thank you for aiding me, but I sense you came for a different purpose. Let's talk inside the cavern. Surely there must be another way. No, my lady, of course not. I'll do as you ask. Come here, Outlander. We must talk. It feels strange to talk to an Outlander in such a sacred place. Queen of the night sky insists. I need to render judgment on an important claim, and she says you can help me reach the correct decision. Words of truth from the mouth of an Outlander. Remarkable. The Red Exiles and if you believe that Chodala is the Nerevarine. He's convinced them, but not me. I came here to consider my options. I fear a bloodbath if I oppose his claim. Perhaps, but I must remain impartial. If someone else reveals the flaws in Chodala's claims by comparing him to the failed incarnates, that might do the trick. We thought the incarnates were possessed by the spirit of Nerevar, but each had a critical flaw that made them destined to fail to fulfill their spirit here. Take a pouch of blessed dust, sprinkle a pin bones of the incarnates to call forth their spirits. Return to Aldrin after you have learned all you can. Perhaps we can curb Chodala's ambitions before they lead us to war. We need knowledge to defeat Chodala, Outlander. Listen well to what the failed incarnates have to say.
The Nerevarine remains a promise unfulfilled, and I am as guilty of prideful posturing as every other failed incarnate that occupies this hall. Ask your question and let's be done with this, Outlander. The Nerevarine must listen as well as proclaim. I refuse to accept wise counsel, which led to the doom of my tribe and the end of my quest to embody the spirit of Nerevar. Take my scroll and remind the wise woman that wisdom ignored is...
We are the failed incarnates. The Ashlanders suddenly proclaimed themselves to be the Nerevarine, but were found wanting. The Lady of and Dutch Walker were asked question, Outlander. Take my scroll and help the wise woman see the lie of unbridled power. I thought myself the reborn Nerevar, for I was the strongest, most powerful warrior in all the land. But power alone won't save my people. In the end, it couldn't even save me.
Once I was the hope of my people, but then my claim was proven false. Now I wait, and I hope for the Nerevarion's return. State your question, Outlander, and I shall do as Azura urges. To fulfill the prophecy, I followed a path of blood and war. In the end, my path became a road that led nowhere, and I was cast down from my lofty spot. Take my scroll, and help the wise woman understand the futility of a senseless war.
Mortal, let us speak. I foresaw your usefulness before you set foot in Vvardenfell. Now comes a test that will challenge your ability to separate truth from lies. You must convince the tribes that Chodola is not the Nerevarine. Doversee's wisdom outshines most other mortals. She recognizes the futility of Chodola's claim. If she rebuffs him, however, the tribes will turn on each other, and blood will flow. The staff, Sunra, it makes Chodola confident, reckless. Your instincts serve you well. Chodola's path took a dark turn. However, my sight clouds when I look too closely. Sothasil built Sunra, but he did not create it with this vile purpose in mind. You must act on my behalf, and Vivek's. Then go, return to Aldrun, and help the wise woman reveal the falsehood of Chodola's claim, and let Saren assist you. She is my champion and a trusted friend of all Ashlanders. Use what the Incarnate shared with you. Their failures point the way toward Chodola's downfall, but beware Chodola's power. He may not be the Nerevarine, but some greater agency has lent strength conviction. Due to pact, I am not permitted to interfere in the affairs of Nirn. Even this casual discussion pushes the boundaries of that agreement. Instead, I must work through trusted agents, such as yourself and Saren. Use what the Incarnate shared with you. Their failures point the way toward helping that arrogant imposter? Whatever gave you the idea that I was helping that murderer? Vvardenfell must stand. Everything I do in this regard serves that single goal. Best that you remember that, mortal.
Thank the moon and star. You've returned. The wise woman returned from the cavern of the Incarnate and went right into Scar to meet with the tribes. Chodola's in there too, about to be named the Nerevarine. Tell me you came back with something to stop my brother's rise to power. Ah, of course. Use the tales of the failed Incarnates to counter Chodola's arguments. That's brilliant. Well, except for one problem. An Outlander has no status in the Council. The Ashlanders won't listen to a word you say. Someone else has to present the arguments. Someone they trust. I suppose that means I have to challenge my brother. With your help, of course. Meet me inside.
continue this farce? It's obvious that I'm the Nerevarine.
Someone has stepped forward to challenge your claim, Chodola.
Seren, I'm disappointed in you, dear sister.
Enough. I shall hear your arguments and render my decision.
Even the Outlander can see that I'm the most powerful Ashkan. My strength alone proves that I am the Nerevarine.
Chodola puts forth his great strength as proof of his claim. Give me the scroll that discounts such a trait for the Nerevarine. Yes, that's... Incarnate, appear!
As a warrior and as an Ashkan, I was the most powerful of my age. But for all my strength, don't follow my example.
The faithless houses dare to threaten our land, but we shall meet them in battle, and I will lead us to victory.
This is more nerve-wracking than I anticipated. Which scroll do you recommend to counter this argument? That makes sense. Incarnate, appear!
I thought the path to the Nerevarine was a path of blood and battle, but my love of war was my undoing. War is not the way.
These failed incarnates prove nothing! I need no counsel but my own, as befits my status as the Nerevarine.
I think it's working. Of course. Let's see what... Incarnate, appear!
I refuse to accept the counsel of the wise women and the Ashkans. I thought I knew best, but I knew nothing. That is not the way of the Nerevarine.
Seren and the Outlander, their arguments have merit. Chodola, we deny your claim. You are not the Nerevarine.
This proves nothing! Look how the staff protects me! I am the Nerevarine! Red Exiles, slay
Brother! No!
For Chodola! For the Nerevarine!
Go to my hut and get my healers.
I hate what my
now.
brothers... Right away, wise woman.
Yeah. Mortal, I would have words with you. Chodola revealed as a Nerevarine. That hasn't dissuaded him from his reckless course of action. As long as he wields the staff, he shall be unstoppable. Time is against you, mortal. Even now, Vivek, that pompous usurper, grows increasingly weaker. As much as I deplore him, Vivek cannot fall to Chodola's vile magic. There's another power at work here. One I can't quite put my finger on. Return to Vivek City. Do what you can to aid Vivek. And pay heed to my faithful vessel, Seren. I name her Champion of the Moon and Star. She will play a pivotal role in ending her brother's march toward godhood, if she survives.
Exhilarating.
The looks of that sky.
As a god weakens, so too does his city suffer. I know my people grow fearful. Even the Archcanon is distressed. But the energy that remains to me holds the moonlit in the sky, at least for now. So what news does my eyes and ears bring to me? How this upstart Ashlander learned to attune Sotha Seal's tool confounds my understanding. And he dares use my power? Still, your help is appreciated. Every strike and parry takes us one step closer to ending this threat and restoring my vitality.
Due to Lord Vivek's condition, it falls upon us to find us. Lord Vivek must conserve his remaining energy, so we need to solve this problem on our own. It all comes back to Chodala. That damned Ashlander's draining the warrior poet's power. We need to stop him and get that damned staff. How should I know? That's not a skill the Tribunal teaches. Return to Barrowzar's tower and get Sotha Seal's former apprentice to come up with some kind of countermeasure. I'm sure he knows more than he's told you. I do have one concern, though. You see right through me, Outlander. I have more worries than a Kwama queen has eggs. I'm talking about Chodala's sister. Saren claims to want to help, to want peace, but I don't trust her. Seek out Barrowzar, but be wary of the Ashlander's sister. We need to stop Chodala, and to do that, we need to find a way to overcome the device he's wielding. Find Barrowzar and make sure that crazy mage provides you with something we can use to save Lord Vivek.
Here! Is someone up there? I could use some help down here. Hurry, please. I have a natural aversion to Daedra. So hard to concentrate and maintain schedules when interruptions constantly occur. Don't they know the great gear never pauses in its rotations? So that was you up there. I appreciate the assistance. Daedric entities can be very unpredictable. Logic has very little place in the behavior of Daedra, my hopeful associate. Studying the fabric of reality does tend to attract unwanted. But these came before you entered my tower. I wonder, why have you returned? Ah, a modification of my master's old experiments, turning a simple tool into a dangerous weapon. Ingenious! Evil, yes, but also quite brilliant. A tonal inverter should counter it. Uses sound waves to temporarily disrupt the flow of energy. No, of course not. I just invented it. I need proper components to build such a device. My hirelings scour the land for materials all the time. Here's a list. Head out the back door and ask them to direct you to these common dwarven components.
I feel like such a puny snowback, hiding here in Molag Mar. But you don't want to hear about my troubles. What can this broken Nord do for you? Berylzar. He's the reason I'm a shattered man, doomed to become a cowering sheep like the rest of these pilgrims. All right, let me see that. Arkanthung Stordoms. You can find a Sonance generator there, after you deal with the steam trap. The cursed contraption. I almost had it figured out when a ghost floated up to me. No problem, I think. But then it enters a Centurion. Ghost machines. No sane Nord can fight ghost machines. I dropped my notes and ran as fast as I could. Not just ghosts. Ghosts that possess dwarven machines. I'm through working for that crazy old mage and his clockwork monstrosities. But if you want to get past the steam trap, find my notes and follow the directions.
If you're another pilgrim looking for charity, I suggest you move along. I have neither the time to waste nor the gold to spare. I'm currently between employment, and my own funds have become dangerously depleted. Let me see that. What's that crazy mage need this time? I suppose you could find a manual clockwork shaft in the Nichuleft ruins. But I'd avoid that place if I were you. If the roof doesn't collapse, the constructs will rip you apart. If you insist. Deep in the ruins churns a big machine. When I was there, it sputtered and vibrated, collapsing parts of the ceiling. Lava and rock fell everywhere. You need to get past that and some nasty constructs to retrieve the item. That mage is a menace. Oh, he always paid well, but the places he asked me to go, each was more dangerous than the last. And if I had to hear about the Great Gear one more time, for my own health and sanity, I had to break ties with Barrelzar.
Damned vampires. I'll find a way to make them pay for what they did to my brother. I swear it on the tribunal and any Daedra willing enough to listen. What do you want? Can't you leave a person to her anger and her grief? He did he? Let me see that list. Well, the crazy old mage always said there were no coincidences. The inversion conduit. I saw one in Galome Deus, right before I barely escaped from those damned vampires. Eager to become cattle for the bloodsuckers? The Burn clan killed my brother. Damn their eyes! The item you seek was in the manufactory, but you'll need a control rod to get a dwarven spider to unlock it for you. Because the mage wanted to send me to the far side of Vvardenfell, and I need to remain here. I'm not going anywhere until I make the Burn clan pay for what it did to my brother. If you can kill some of the bastards, that'll be a start.
What is it?